2022 is a huge year for games, so let's make it even bigger with some of the most exciting titles you didn't even know were on the way.
Luca, focus.
Okay, sorry, for real.
The modern release cycle tends to mean that games aren't a surprise anymore. The ones we're most excited for have sometimes even been teased years in advance. And it's rare for a game to just pop up with an immediate release date. But the good news is that some releases have been teased, but we somehow miss them in the glut of other news. This means some potentially incredible experiences have been effectively lost down the back of the game's news sofa. So subscribe to Logitech G and let's look at some of the most exciting games you didn't realize are on the way in 2022. If we're going off on an unknown journey, let's start off somewhere gentle, shall we? Just be aware that it's going to get emotional in a lovely, heartfelt way. Dordogne is a beautiful, hand-drawn French narrative adventure where we play as a young woman called Mimi, whose grandmother has recently passed away. When she arrives at her grandmother's house in Dordogne, where she spent many happy times, she discovers letters filled with puzzles and returns to her childhood memories. And yes, it really all does look as beautiful as this. Everything is hand-drawn and watercolor painted, and you can fill your journal with beautiful pictures and facts. Exploring Dordogne looks like an absolute delight, and even though we know we'll definitely cry, this is an indie to watch out for this year. From all that color to something a little more gothic, Silt is a monochrome underwater adventure game, and it might look like it has a serious case of the Limbos, but it's actually based on the disturbing work of Mr. Mead, who's the art director on the project. Silt looks like a thrillingly surreal trip deep below the waves, as we quest for long-forgotten relics and mysteries. Not only are there strange creatures living in the darkness, but we can possess them to solve puzzles and travel deeper into the abyss. If you've always been afraid of those anglerfish with built-in light-up traps, this toothy, monster-packed experience might not be for you. But for everyone else, it's time to pack your flippers. Funny we should mention Limbo, as the upcoming alien apocalypse adventure Somerville comes from ex-Playdead developer Chris Olsen. He's the founder of Jumpship and the director on the game. The journey here looks just as emotional as we join a family trying to survive in a strange new world. But Olsen wanted to create something truly different. The team has reportedly focused entirely on making sure there's no repetition in the game, so that we truly never know what we're going to come up against next. Somerville is inspired by the game Another World from 1991, but this 2022 experience is going to be very different as we adapt to alien hunting techniques and try to survive in a desolate world. And yes, there's a dog. Prepare to be very, very stressed. After all that grim, it's definitely time for some bright colors and incredible music. We Are Ofk is an interactive animated series following the launch of an indie pop band in LA. This looks like a fascinating story-based game as we follow the lives of the 4 band members as they date and survive day-to-day in Los Angeles. The game is fully voiced by actors, including Marvel Spider-Man's Yuri Lowenthal and Toy Story 4's Ali Maki, and will be 5 episodes long. It will also include interactive music videos and more emotional texting than we'll have any idea what to do with. This will be one to turn your headset up for, and we can't wait.
3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, here we go.
Sometimes a game comes along that just ticks every box on your wish list. Replaced is a, let's get this right, 2.5D sci-fi retro-futuristic action platformer, and it's set in the 80s. What more could we want? Well, what about an AI trapped inside a human body? In Replaced, we play as Reach, who is trying to get used to the whole being human thing in the gritty cyberpunk metropolis of Phoenix City. And what better way to experience this journey than in glorious pixelated retrovision that truly looks almost too good to be true. Dystopia is definitely the order of the day here, as we explore a world packed with corruption that's doing a roaring trade in human organ trafficking. It's not winning any wholesome game awards, but this looks like a dark, side-scrolling delight. There's nothing quite like a surprise theme park sim to brighten your day, is there? Park Beyond was a stealthy reveal last year and is still on track for a 2022 release. And while any roller coaster management game is right up our screen-packed street, Park Beyond is a little different from your standard loop-the-loop-em-up. Here, the guests have ridden more corkscrews than they can count and are looking for something new to scream about. This means adding what the game calls impossification modules to spice things up. And by spice, we mean shoot out of a cannon or glide with wings, as your paying customers leave the tracks behind in search of thrills. Wrap this all up with what looks like a colourful theme park builder, and we have our hands and arms inside the carriage ready to play.
Oh, the engineering is going to cost an arm and a leg. You remind me of the Visioneer I used to be.
And finally, it's time to make you feel really hungry. Gnaw is all about, quite literally, playing with your food. Whether that's popping up seas of toasters or pouring noodles into a dish, this experimental food game is all about doing everything but actually eating it. And Gnaw isn't just about watching our favourite food do interesting things, but hearing them too. Everything we do builds the dynamic soundtrack as we enchant dishes with audio spells and heat things up with secret combos. Gnaw is proudly goal-free and includes 20 different delicious playgrounds to experiment with. But yes, we'd definitely recommend eating first, because these stacks of burgers and endless bowls of ramen are only going to make your stomach rumble loud enough to get in the way of the lovely soundscape. So those are some of the most exciting games you didn't know were on the way in 2022. Let us know which ones you'll be keeping an eye on in the comments below, drop us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to Logitech G for more videos just like this one. If you do already subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss another video.